We are starting off here in Dublin today, walking through St. Stephen's Green. We've got a fun day planned. We're gonna go eat. We're also gonna go visit the Guinness Gravity Bar. It's one of those things I don't think you can pass up when you're in Dublin. Besides going to the Guinness Bar, we actually don't have anything planned. Sometimes we like to just let the day unfold, and we're very excited to be here in Dublin. We've wanted to come for a long time, especially to this country. We think we're just gonna take it in and let the day unfold as it does.
This is our first day in Ireland. We're walking through the park and it is 70 degrees and sunny. Absolutely beautiful day, and it's supposed to rain later, but I'm really hoping that weather like this holds out for the week that we're here exploring Ireland, because that would just be perfect. It's probably not gonna happen, but we were perfectly comfortable in Scotland, so hopefully we just have weather like we did over there.
I think that's the best place to eat in Dublin, Captain America's Cookhouse. Behind me is Madeline, and also a Molly Malone statue. She's kind of the Dolly Parton of Ireland.
It's good luck if you
Grope her?
catch her right there. We're here at the Temple Bar for our first drink in Dublin, our first drink in Ireland.
We stopped off for a quick beer at the Temple Bar because we had to do it, and it's actually not as crazy of an atmosphere as I thought it might be. Great live music, and for the touristy spot, I actually enjoy it quite a bit.
Well, for lunch, we are heading into the Brazen Head, which is supposed to be Ireland's oldest pub. We decided to get some classic Irish staples. Adam got bangers and mash, and I decided to continue with the Guinness theme today, and I got a Guinness and beef stew. We're hungry. This is our first meal in Ireland, and we're ready to go. Our food has arrived. It looks amazing. It smells great. We're digging right in. Stew came with mashed potatoes on top, big pieces of beef, and carrots in here. Very hearty, rich flavor. Wow. I think I made the right choice. This is absolutely delicious.
Well, I have the Brazen Head Red Ale and a full plate of bangers and mash, sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, broccoli. It looks amazing. And by the way, I tried Madeline's Guinness stew. That is so rich in flavor. That is incredible. But I'm excited for what I got. I already cut up some bangers here, a little mashed potato. This is the oldest pub in Ireland, serving up some classic Irish dishes, and it is delivering big time. This is a great way to start our trip here in Ireland.
We had a delicious lunch at the Brazen Head. Now we are heading to the Guinness Storehouse. We're doing a tour, and we're gonna get our first taste of Guinness here in Dublin. Well, this is quite the operation. Right now, we're in the Stouty bar, and they're going to put our picture in the foam of the beer. Let's see how these turn out.
All right, here we go.
I think it looks like me.
Looks like us. We're gonna drink ourselves.
First Guinness here in Ireland.
Actually, I held up through.
Yeah, I'm still there.
I'm still there.
Just a little lopsided. This is the Guinness Gravity Bar. It's like Club Guinness up in here. It's a party vibe for sure here on a Monday.
We are up at the Guinness Storehouse high above Dublin right now. You got 360-degree views of the city. We have Ireland's chosen beverage right here, and we're having a great time at this spot. They do an amazing job of teaching you about the property, the process, but it's also a fun experience. The Stouty bar down below was great, seeing our faces on the beer, and of all the kind of gimmicky tricks you can do with beer, that one was pretty good. And then the views up here are phenomenal. So we're gonna finish off our beer, and then we're gonna keep enjoying our day here in Dublin. One of the really funny things here at the 360 bar, and maybe this is more common, but they had something called Guinness Clear. So I was asking, besides this one, what do they have? And they had a couple other beers, and then there was this Guinness Clear sitting there. So I said, what's Guinness Clear? Guinness Clear is water. So I opted not to get it, but some people, it might be their Guinness choice. Tremendous stop here at the Guinness Storehouse. They do an excellent job of teaching you about the product, but then also letting you sample the product. The Stouty room was a lot of fun, seeing our face on the beer, and then going up to the 360 bar and seeing all of Dublin, having a beer. We really feel welcome here in Ireland, and this trip is off to a fantastic start. A tremendous day exploring Dublin so far. We're going to head over to dinner to a spot called Matt the Thresher. It's a seafood bar and grill. Ireland, of course, is sitting in the Atlantic Ocean, and they've got some pretty good seafood. This looks like a great spot to grab it over here by St. Stephen's Green, and we're looking forward to dinner. We've just put in our order at Matt the Thresher's, and we're getting a whole host of seafood. We're starting off with a seafood platter. It's got Dublin Bay prawns, oysters, Irish crab meat, and smoked salmon. Also, for dinner, I'm getting the fish special. It's hake. It's going to be served with potatoes and other vegetables. Madeline is getting the prawn linguine, which is served in a spicy cream sauce. The seafood platter has arrived. We've got a couple of different types of oysters here. I'm gonna hit this one with a little hot sauce. Might be a lot of hot sauce. A little squeeze of lemon. Already popped it. Full disclosure, not the biggest oyster fan. That is a huge oyster. It was also very good.
No, Adam already said we don't really eat oysters very often, but when they're fresh, on a beautiful platter like this, oop, I'm blocking it, you have to go for it. A little bit of Tabasco. This is some crab meat and a little tiny, I'm assuming potato pancake. Ooh. We're just gonna load it up. And I'm gonna hit it with lemon. Gotta hit it all with a little lemon. That is incredibly fresh.
Well, the last item we have on the seafood platter is the smoked salmon. There's also like a creme fraiche on here. So I'm gonna build myself this little smoked salmon stack here.
All right, you got it. There you go.
There's also caviar right there. So the salmon here, all the smoked salmon we've had since we were in Scotland, now we're in Ireland. It's so good, it's so fresh. And I see why they eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It just goes easy with every meal. And I think the fresh seafood is one thing that's absolutely blown me away being over here. It's just been so tasty. And we've gotten really, really lucky at some of the spots we've gone to, just how great they are at preparing the seafood.
I am so excited for this dish. We've seen it go by several times in anticipation for this. I am so ready. I'm gonna squeeze a little lemon on top. These prawns are absolutely delicious. All the seafood that we've had here has been so fresh, so delicious. The sauce on this pasta is so light.
I got the special tonight. It's hake. It is a beautiful cut of fish served on a bed of greens with some yellow potatoes, and I'm going to just pull a little bit off right there. Gets right. That is pillowy soft, the least fishy fish I think I've ever had. It is just beautiful, pure white fish. Oh. I think we've had 5 or 6 different types of seafood tonight. They're all so fresh, all so clean. What a tremendous find here in Dublin.
Today we are in Connemara in County Galway, and we're exploring some major sites around here. We're staying at Blarney Castle, and that's our home base as we explore this area. We're having a quick breakfast here this morning before we head out to our first destination, which is going to be Kylemore Abbey. Well, we're having breakfast here this morning at the Blarney Castle. They have a beautiful breakfast buffet over there. A little overwhelmed by all the options, but I went for a scone. They have a beautiful cheese spread, and then I just got a little bit of fruit and granola because I'm also getting porridge. So, starting out with a huge breakfast, but everything looked so good. We also have a beautiful river view here for breakfast right from our table.
I'm starting off a little bit heartier. I've got my buffet plate over here of gammon, cheese, fruit, and then also an eggs Florentine with poached eggs on top. These might be the best poached eggs I've seen since I got over here. I'm gonna go ahead and do both of them. Just look at that. Of all the breakfast foods, I think Eggs Benedict is the most dramatic.
It's messy too. We finished up breakfast, and now we're heading over to our first stop of the day, which is Kylemore Abbey. It's about a half an hour away from our hotel, and this drive is absolutely beautiful so far. I'm just really excited for the day because this area is gorgeous. Today, we're exploring Kylemore Abbey. First glimpses are already beautiful.
First impressions here of Kylemore Abbey is that it's incredibly impressive. When you drive up, you come across a bridge and you see it immediately, and it's sitting here on this beautiful lake. Got these beautiful green mountains behind it, and right there you can see the church that's on property. And then, you know, a little bit of a walk that way, they have this 6-acre walled garden. I think we're gonna go over to that as well. So good start, enjoying the spot.
Kylemore was built as a private residence initially in the 1860s by the Henry family, and then eventually in the 1920s it became a Benedictine monastery and has stayed that way ever since. Well, this here is the view from their front porch. That is not too bad. When the Henrys built the house, they also built this beautiful church behind me. It's small and intimate, but it's absolutely beautiful. Beautiful cathedral ceilings. This whole property has been amazing so far. The house was so cool. Beautiful view from the front porch. And yeah, I can see why they would want to build a house right here. But we're walking on the grounds. I think we're gonna go see where they have the Connemara ponies next. These are the Connemara. These are the Connemara ponies, and they are native to Ireland. The Spanish Armada sank off the coast. Horses made it ashore, mated with horses here in Ireland, and that is how the Connemara ponies were born.
Well, before we go over into the garden, they have a little tea house here. They have fresh baked cakes. That's an orange almond cake. That was too good to pass up. Damn. Cup of tea, which is my favorite European tradition. Afternoon tea. I don't really care how I get afternoon tea, whether it's sitting in a hotel or a nice actual service of afternoon tea or sitting out here looking at beautiful mountains. It's just a good thing to do. That's all I gotta say about that.
Well, that was Kylemore Abbey. A great first stop here as we're exploring Connemara. The house is incredibly impressive. The grounds are beautiful. And I personally like the Connemara ponies the best. Adam, he loved his tea and cake. Now we are going to head over and explore Clifton, which is the larger town in this area. I think we're gonna grab some lunch or do some shopping, but we're gonna check it out. We drove through it on the way over here and it's really cute, so we're heading back. We are here
In Clifton. It's
in
a
Clifton.
cute little town.
Very cute, really lively. There's music, there's little shops, and we are heading to find some lunch.
Well, for lunch we are in Clifton and we are stopping in at a little seafood spot for a light lunch called Mitchell's. For lunch, Madeline and I are splitting an open-faced sandwich. We got half a salmon, half a prawn sandwich, and Madeline's going with the prawns. I'm going with the smoked salmon. All the salmon over here has been absolutely beautiful, and I think this is no exception to that rule. We think it's being served on Irish soda bread. You got some Dijon mustard on there, smoked salmon, and capers. And that's a nice light lunch before we go off and head to a delicious dinner tonight. Well, a tasty light lunch over at Mitchell's, and now we're gonna head next door and grab a drink at a bar that has a snug. So one of the things I really wanted to do when I was in Ireland was go inside a snug. I'm doing that right now. Well, I got my beer here, sitting outside of Tom King's Bar and Snug. I love the interior there, especially the snug room. Of course, the snugs were called snugs because they're small rooms and they'd have frosted glass, and you pay more to drink in there because you kind of had your own private room. And in really olden times, people would go in there and they'd arrange their marriages and how much, lambs and everything would be traded for the marriage. But for us, we just got a beer, and it's a beautiful day, tasty beer, Ireland. What more could you want?
Castle back in these trees. it. Very cool. We've stopped off here at Connemara Castle. It is one of the few castles in Ireland that was built by the Irish, not by the English, and it's one of 11 castles still standing here in Connemara. It is very peaceful and very beautiful here. And there's some dogs running around that are kind of ruling the place, which is amazing. If there's people storming your castle, you just take care of them through the murder hole. That was a nice stop. Pretty cool castle. Nice grounds. It was really well intact. Always fun to explore. Right now we're at our hotel, the Blarney Castle. The rooms are absolutely beautiful, but so are the grounds. Right now we are in their walled garden. It's absolutely immaculate. Beautiful hedgerows and water features, flowers everywhere. And we're just gonna take a minute and explore the grounds a little bit. We haven't done that yet, but we're gonna explore before we head to dinner. Last night we ate in their pub. Tonight we're eating in their dining room. But just a beautiful compound here. And we are just gonna take a minute to enjoy it and explore a little bit.
Well, a fun day exploring this area, but tonight we are having dinner here at the Blarney Castle at the Owenmore restaurant. It's a fine dining establishment, and I think it's going to be one of the best meals we have while we're in Ireland. Well, the first of our courses here at Owenmore Restaurant, we have a bacon croquette. Look at how beautiful that is. Oh. We also have some monkfish on toasted cracker. I got the Irish crab meat appetizer. It's a beautifully made dish.
The pate is baked right into like the bread, so that you don't have to spread it out. So some kind
Well
of
done, very delicate.
raisiny.
I absolutely love crab meat. Big surprise.
Good enough for me for dinner.
All right, here we have scallops. Ooh.
Anybody want to try it?
I'm not sure what this sauce is. Beautiful fresh scallops. Perfectly perfectly cooked, nice little char on the outside, gives it a little crunch. There's also a pork dumpling here. I'm gonna cut into that as well. Ooh. Oh yeah, that looks great.
I'm still not.
Yeah, this is right up your alley. So let's go. It's kind of a big bite. Pork is delicious. It's like a nice dumpling. It's very, very good. We just had a delicious meal at the Owen Moore restaurant. Every single course, absolutely delicious from start to finish. I think that's gonna end up being one of our favorite meals that we've had here in Ireland. We're here in Galway and we're gonna do a little food tour. We're starting off at McSwiggan's, classic Irish pub.
Put in our order here at McSwiggan's Tavern, and this pub is classic Irish, and we just wanted a little place that had some classic food. I got the Connemara lamb stew. It's one of the dishes that I wanted to try when I was here in Ireland, the lamb stew. It's a very classic, popular Irish dish. Madeline's going a little lighter. She's getting the seafood chowder, and I'm ready for our food to come out. Well, our food just arrived here at McSwiggan. I got the Connemara lamb stew. It looks absolutely beautiful. It's served in this giant bowl. We've got the new potatoes, the carrots, the barley, and this lamb, which has just been soaking in this juice. And we're just gonna go in right here for this first bite. Look at that. When your food's dripping, that's flavor. That's the most tender lamb I've ever had. It is so good. These potatoes have just sat here and soaked in this juice. They're pillowy soft, and this is a very good way to start our food tour here in Galway.
I'm gonna go in on the lamb stew. We've seen a lot of sheep. I feel a little bit guilty eating one. I got a classic seafood chowder full of huge pieces of salmon. Very good. We've seen it on many menus since we've been over here, but this is the first time I've actually had it. It's very good. Very creamy. And I went light. I mean, I guess chowder's not exactly light, but since we're heading out on a food tour, I was taking it easy on this first course.
Right now we are at Ember Firehouse right here on Quay Street, pretty much in the heart of Galway, and we are about to get a chicken flatbread. Now, we don't really know what kind of cuisine this spot serves. I think they take their inspiration from a lot of different places. They use local meats, local ingredients, and some other people around us have gotten their chicken dishes. They mainly do chicken, but they also have some lamb and some veggie options. The food looks great, and sitting outside here in Ireland on a really nice day, I think this is going to be a fun one.
The dish we ordered is called the Hot One. It has chicken, red chilies, pickled cabbage, and peri-peri sauce, and then house crack. We're trying to figure out what house crack is. It may be seasoning, it may be a hot sauce. I'm looking forward to coming out. I'm assuming it's gonna be a little bit spicy because it is called the Hot One. All right, the hot one has arrived. We found out that cracked is in fact their house seasoning, and it is a good thing. Let's see. We're just gonna kind of roll it up here and go for it, kind of like a pita or a burrito or taco. Oh yeah, that is very good. That seasoning is amazing. It's not very spicy.
The juice is right out there.
Oh, look at that. Lettuce, red cabbage, kind of helps just balance out the really flavorful meat. It's packed, and it's packed with flavor.
All right, my first bite here of the hot one. Wow, this is one heck of a flatbread. It's absolutely gigantic. Talk about street food. We are on the street eating food. Really good sauces, and honestly, the chicken's great, and it's kind of great to eat chicken because what we found in Europe is a lot of pork, a lot of beef. Chicken and turkey are less often seen on the menu, and to get a big heaping pile of chicken is kind of needed at this point in our 2-week venture over here.
It's kind of a treat. Chicken is a treat.
Well, the flatbread is falling apart quickly under the weight of all the toppings on there, but I found that if you tear a little apart, build yourself a mini pita, that works pretty well. You can also see the sauce on there. That's really good.
It's very colorful.
It's a very colorful dish on a very colorful street. Well, a fun stop into the Ember Firehouse. Tasty stop as well. We enjoyed the chicken flatbread there, and we're gonna keep rolling here in Galway. I think we're gonna go find a sweet treat. Well, we stopped in at Goya's Bakery and Cafe, and we got this Rocky Road. I'm not even sure what it is. It's kind of like a fudge,
Like a
cake?
Rice Krispie treat almost.
Fudge cake Rice Krispie treat, and it's got, I believe, marshmallows and graham crackers in there, which would make it more like a s'more. But let's try it. Oh,
Crack a tooth.
well, there's nuts in there. This is incredibly sweet. We've not lacked for sweet treats here, but a lot of their sweets are not overly sweet. This one is, although I'm enjoying it.
So there are biscuits in there, which are cookies,
That makes sense.
basically. That was the biscuits. This is very, very delicious. I'm gonna go in for another bite. Yeah. So, marshmallows, biscuits, chocolate. This is decadent and delicious. You can see all the different layers in there. Woo, that's good.
Well, for dinner, Madeline and I are going to go to a spot called the Dough Bros. We've had a lot of classic Irish dishes on this trip, and so tonight we're kind of branching out and going to popular local spots, and this pizza place is very popular.
So the Dough Bros have a pretty cool story. They started out as a street stall, then they went to a pop-up location, and now they have this full restaurant. It's awesome in here. It's brightly colored. They got plenty of space. They got a line out the door, and that's all happened in a decade. And I just love seeing stories like that of people who get kind of like a food truck, and then they work hard, and they've got a awesome business going. And now they even have their own beer.
That's how you know you made it, when you got your own beer.
The dough brews.
The Dough Brews, New World IPA. So we're excited for our pizza to come out. It's a margarita pizza with andouille sausage and candied jalapenos that's drizzled with hot honey. Never had that combination before, and we're watching the pizzas go in the oven. You know we're ready for that to come out.
They had me at hot honey. Take, ooh, it is hot, fresh from the oven. Saw them making these pizzas. Ooh. Delicious. I am loving the candied jalapeno. It's like a little sweet, a little spicy, but super thin crust. Ooh, hot and fresh. Ooh, I'm loving that. We haven't had a lot of spicy food since we've been over here, and this is really hitting the spot right now.
I'm gonna finish Madeline slice here. That is excellent pizza. Very thin crust, but a great crust. Good sauce. Love the andouille sausage. Let's get this candied jalapeno right here.
I love that.
Yeah, I see why this place is popular. Really good pizza. Ireland knows how to do pizza.
Galway is a pretty busy town today, but it's a young town, it's a college town, and live music is a huge deal here. So we're heading out to a bar called T. Coley's, and they have live music tonight. We actually had a server in Edinburgh who told us, oh, you're going out in Galway, you have to head over to T. Coley's. So this was a recommendation from someone over here. And like I said, young town, busy town, we're here on a Saturday. So people are out and about having fun. Lots of shopping going on, lots of pubs are very busy. So we're looking forward to hitting up a little nightlife.
Well, a tremendous time in Galway, eating and drinking our way across this city. Enjoy the live music, we enjoyed the food. Next time we're in Ireland, we'll be back.
Today, we are going to be exploring the Dingle Peninsula. We're driving down from Galway to the town of Dingle for lunch and then heading out on the Slayhead Drive.
So right now we are in Dingle. This place is an absolute madhouse. There is a very small, it's a very small town, and there aren't a lot of places to park. The peninsula is absolutely beautiful, and loving driving around that, exploring it. But we're gonna stop in here and grab some lunch. We finally did find a place to park. I would say that for a town of this size, there's probably 10 times too many people. But we are going to grab lunch at a pub called John Finney's and keep our Irish food tour continuing.
Okay, we stopped off at Murphy's. It is a beautiful 70-degree day and we're having some ice cream. This here is chocolate whiskey. Ooh, it's a very rich chocolate flavor, and then you get like a hit of whiskey. And then this is honeycomb caramel. Ooh, I think this is a good mix together too. Oh, that's really good. I really like that one. I like they use actual whiskey, you said. So you do, it's not an overpowering whiskey flavor, but it does say it contains real alcohol. So, that's pretty good. I tried one that was gin and peppercorn. That was an odd combination, but they have some really fun flavors in there. And I mean, based on what I've tried, I think they're all probably pretty delicious. Now we're heading out of town and we're going to do the Sleigh Head Drive. I think it's going to be full of beautiful views. We've had great views driving into Dingle, and this area has been so fun so far. So let's get exploring. We started our morning off in Galway and we drove down to Dingle. It was about 3.5 hours. So this, I think I've said it before in previous videos, this has been a heavy driving trip. Sometimes when you look at something on the map, it doesn't seem like it's that far, but you should always give yourself extra time over here. Stopped off right here at this viewpoint, and if you look out here, it's very, very small off in the distance. That's Skellig Michael. Adam's actually going to head there tomorrow, and this peninsula is where we're heading later on. But absolutely beautiful. Stop here, gorgeous view of the coastline, and we're just gonna keep heading around, see what we see next. Some ancient housing. This is kind of roomy in here. And then you have that great view. We stopped off here. There's some ancient housing you can come in and explore. Stacked stone and little hallways that are pretty cool too. But just the view out here is absolutely incredible. It's a really cool little stop. There's an underground passageway. There was another family here and the children went through and came out on the other side. I will not be doing that. Come out over there somewhere. I don't know. Pretty cool.
Well, behind me is a cross with Jesus on it, and over here is the Blasket Islands. You can actually take a day trip over there. I guess there's some self-service huts you can rent, but it's like a 6-hour excursion over there. But this is just the most incredible, beautiful day that I've been a part of. The most westerly point in Europe. That's pretty cool.
Well, we got out of the car right by the beach here, and there was a sign that said Star Wars filming location. So we decided to check it out. Right now we're currently just climbing straight up. Sometimes we overestimate ourselves, and it's actually pretty warm out here, but it's a gorgeous view. I don't know what scene was filmed here. I'm assuming it was The Last Jedi, because they did film at Skellig across the water there. So I don't know, we're just continuing to climb here until we find something. We're getting pretty high up here. Wow, what an incredible spot. I'm a little bit speechless. There aren't many places that look like this. It's really an incredible view, well worth coming up here. And you can see why they would film Star Wars here, because it's an incredibly unique landscape. Just all these little islands out here. It's beautiful, beautiful day. This is just one of those incredible spots.
A tremendous walk up here to see that location where they filmed some Star Wars. Obviously, The Last Jedi is the best Star Wars movie, so it was really cool to see where that was filmed. But really, more than that, I mean, this area right here is just incredible. You know, it reminds me of Big Sur or Hawaii, and of course, I don't think they get 75 and sunny every day here, so we are soaking it in and feeling very lucky that we've enjoyed this area with this weather. I mean, there's actually people swimming in the bay down here. So if you're wondering, yes, you can swim in the ocean in Ireland, because we see it happening. We did not pack swim trunks because we did not think that was possible. But we continue here on the Dingle Peninsula. One last time, what a unique setting here in Ireland. The cliffs, the green grass, the little seaside cottages, and the teal blue water. Oh my goodness. This morning I am in the town of Portmagee, and I am walking over to the marina, gonna get on a boat and go out to Skellig Michael. Well, the boat has been fired up, and we're about to push off. We're making our way out to the ocean, going through these little tiny masses of land. think there's two Skelligs, and I think we have a glimpse of the first one up ahead. Even this boat ride for the first 15 minutes has been worth it. It's just so beautiful here, and it's such a beautiful day.
I'd be driving the boat to Skellig Michael, but sometimes you gotta step up, right?
This is a smaller rock that was featured in Harry Potter. There are literally thousands of birds. So right now we're actually going to go with the boat through this, I'm calling it Seagull Rock. It's a small Skellig. I believe it's actually called Lemon Island. And we are just up close and personal, and you can hear these birds. There are many, many, many thousands of them. I've never seen a scene quite like this in my life. Well, I love that rock, but now we're heading to the main event, Skellig Michael. And just what a gorgeous, gorgeous day we have to visit this rock for a monastery out here in the middle of the ocean off the coast of Ireland. Very, very lucky. The luck of the Irish is with us this morning. Well, we are off on our walk.
Yeah, you do actually. It's very handy.
Up to the top of the monastery. We're here, we're doing it. Well, we've reached the stairs and we're going to begin our ascent up to the monastery. Well, so far, not too bad with the heights. A little bit exposed, but my height fear is like 8 out of 10, and I'm okay. The views, though, just look at this. Well, we're ascending up to the top. About halfway up. Whew. Well, hiking up, about halfway up, and it's been a pretty good hike so far. A couple steep spots, but just an incredible view and an absolutely incredible day. And I'm looking forward to getting to the top. Well, behind me are the lower portion of the steps right before you get to the what they kind of call the picnic area. It's kind of an open space, green area. Quite beautiful, and it's just really incredible. The feat of pulling off any sort of structure here on this island, because it is really quite steep when you're sitting here looking at it. I do miss not seeing the puffins, but I guess I'd trade the puffins for a 70-degree, crystal clear, beautiful day in the middle of the ocean. Well, I'm up here on top of the monastery, and there's 4 beehive monk huts where the monks lived, and you have to be a special kind of individual to want to build a dwelling out here. Now, the view on a clear day is absolutely incredible. You feel like you're on top of the world, but the conditions aren't always this nice. I think they've only had 40 sailings this year where they get to come out here. Also, I believe the Irish Prime Minister is coming out here today, so I might see them. Really just an incredible place. And I did struggle a bit with the height. Had to basically scoot my way across because of my extreme fear of open air heights. So I'm hanging out here a bit longer because I know the path back is going to be tough. But if you're seeing this video, it means I made it.
Went the wrong way.
This is what the inside of a beehive is like. It's where the monks lived. This is the lower part of the monk fort, and you go through that little hole and you get to the bigger part where the monks lived. This part right here. This is 100% a total guess, but I feel like they filmed one of the Star Wars scenes right up there. Which I think this might be the first time I've mentioned Star Wars. This is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and of course a lot of history with the monks who use this island. And the popularity of the movies really boomed tourism in this area. Our captain of our boat was talking about that, and he said the tourism was very, very good. And then they've had a couple rough years after COVID, where they basically didn't sail at all in 2020. They only sailed for 2 months in 2021, and then this year they've had very bad weather. So there really hasn't been that many people on this island over the past couple years. But one thing we did miss while we were here were the puffins. They're puffins that make their nest on the island. They left about a week ago. They say they're out there in the water. I think they're just giving us hope. But wow, what an amazing venue. Coming down, you obviously have to watch your steps a little bit more because it is narrow, but it is steep. But I think it is easier. Now, they did say accidents happen more on days like this, and so taking extra precaution, just remembering even at the end as I'm almost close, need to watch every step. Now, we've heard a couple different stories about Star Wars They had the helicopters bring the major stars, a bunch of boats come over. They had a Michelin star restaurant set up on the shore, and 5 times a day they had the boats bringing like high-end food like couscous and curries and vegetarian food over, and said it was quite the production. Didn't say how long they were here though, but then it was of course used for 2 different movies at the end of Force Awakens and during The Last Jedi. I don't remember if they used it for The Rise of Skywalker, but you can one look at the island and one visit, you can see why somebody would want to use this for a filming location. Also, I believe J.J. Abrams' wife is Irish, so that helped kind of tip them off to this location. That was actually the Irish Prime Minister. So we got to get a little meeting in with some government officials and told them how much we're enjoying the country. That's the helicopter pad. There's also a lighthouse on the island, and there's 3 full-time employees. Now they rotate out and they go back to the mainland of Ireland, but they are on the island. One stays at the bottom, one's up at the top, and they actually live here. So they spend the night here. And I'm sure on nights like tonight it's absolutely beautiful, but if it's 40 and rainy, whew, the tough conditions. Also, incredibly, there is 4G internet service on this island. They have some sort of booster here for the people who live here. So of course I didn't waste my time looking at my phone at the news, but if I needed to, here in the middle, 8 kilometers off of Ireland, perfect cell phone coverage. You might notice I'm sans Madeline today. That's because Evelyn could not join us, so one of us had to come, and I was the winner. I feel bad that she didn't get to enjoy this. However, she doesn't like heights either, so it would have been a harrowing experience, but she would have got it done. By the way, our boat's called Skellig Michael. It's got to be not the Skywalker, right? Kind of looks like the dark side lives in there.
Adam's back from his trip out to Skellig, and now we're going to go explore some sites along the Ring of Kerry. We've been staying in Waterville, and there's some cool spots around here that we want to check out. Right now we're heading over to some stone forts, and then there's a few other sites in the area that we want to see before we head out to dinner. Right now we're on the Ring of Kerry, and we're walking up. There are 2 stone forts here that we are making our way over to, and we're hiking through these fields here that are just full of sheep on either side, and they are just chilling, totally unfazed by our presence. But it is a beautiful, beautiful sunny day, and we are just happy to be out here exploring. This is pretty much exactly what we thought Ireland would look like. And it is delivering. Here's a castle over here. We're gonna go check that out next.
Well, I'm here in the Licana Buell Stone Fort. I'm probably butchering that pronunciation, but I'm absolutely loving these stone forts. Apparently this was named after the slope of Bully, which is summer cow pasture, and that makes a lot of sense because we actually are standing in pastures of cattle and lambs. From the sky, it kind of looks like it's almost like a human figure, but obviously in here, you know, they had different uses for the different areas. And the cool part is you can get up on the ledge of these things and you can just look and see for miles and miles and miles. And I sound like a weatherman, but the days, I mean, 70 degrees here in Ireland, the sun's out, it's just absolutely beautiful. There's a castle off in the distance. I can't tell you how terrific it is being here. I don't think that the video is doing it justice, although the video is probably doing it quite a bit of justice. But this is peak Ireland for me right here. Castles, stone forts, sheep grazing, small country roads, cottages. See the ocean, you got mountains. What more do you want? All right, now we're going to head to that fort right there. This fort was built in either the 9th or 10th century, so this thing's over 1,000 years old. Now we are walking over to the Carrigal Stone Fort, which Evie is very excited about. But we could see it from the other fort, and seems silly to get all this way here, not go look at it.
I mean, the views were beautiful from one side. I imagine they'll be beautiful from the other, so let's go check it out. Very cool. This is, I think, bigger than the other stone fort we were just at. Certainly has higher walls.
It definitely has higher walls.
You can climb up. There's some stairs and wow, this is really cool. You can't even see over the walls.
They actually don't know how old these stacked stone forts are, and they just kind of assume important people lived in them. They're very common on the west coast of Ireland. We've popped into a few older dwellings, but these have been the most impressive ones we've seen. But you know, we're not exploring the whole country. To come in here into this stone fort that's 1,000 years old and have it all to ourselves on this beautiful day, I mean, what an experience. And the view from the top of this thing, you can see a castle and Ireland, bringing it big time. Tremendous stop here at these stone forts. If you're doing the rain Kerry, I think these need to be on your list because the view with the castle, and we're heading to that castle right now.
Ballycarbery Castle And we can't walk up close to it. This is about as close as we can get. But it's really, really cool.
It's a cool castle.
There's like beautiful moss, or there's beautiful ivy growing up the side, and it's just like the perfect ruins of a castle. And I have to say, I love how like every cool, beautiful place we go to, right next door, there's always a bunch of animals. There's always a farm, and you'd think I'd kind of get sick of seeing like cows and sheep, but I am not. We've been over here we've been in Ireland for about 10 days, and I am not sick of seeing sheep and cows everywhere. But another amazing castle site here. I wish we could get a little bit closer, but we will abide by the signs, stay back, and just admire from afar. Man, that's cool. Right now we're heading up to the Kerry cliffs. The sign as we drove in said it is the most beautiful view in all of Kerry, so naturally we had to check it out. Right now we're walking up. We've got some donkeys here to one side, some rolling hills to the other, and we're heading straight for the cliffs. Just some alpaca hanging out here near the cliffs. Well, beautiful view from over here of the Kerry cliffs, and off in the distance you can see Skellig Michael, and it's just some really amazing views that we've gotten today. Absolutely gorgeous day. I know I heard Adam talking about that earlier. Feels like a weatherman telling everyone it's 70 and sunny. But we just feel so lucky to have had some really beautiful days on this trip and being able to really enjoy places like this with beautiful weather. Well, this was a fun stop.
Yeah, it's to go visit Skellig and then to kind of see it here as the sun sets.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Kind of completes the day. But you know what really completes the day? Dinner.
And that's what we're doing next.
I think dessert closes the day out though.
Well, maybe.
Maybe some more sticky toffee pudding.
Oh no.
Sticky toffee pudding number 7.
He's addicted.
Well, right there, the Fisherman's Bar, Skellig restaurant. Right there, the boats, they go out to Skellig Michael. Already did the boats. Now we're gonna have dinner right here. As you've heard me say 1,000 times, picture perfect day here in Ireland. So we're gonna sit outside, and I have been holding off on ordering fish and chips because I wanted to do it by the sea. And tonight is the night that the fish and chips happen. So let's go. Well, we put in our order here at the Skellig restaurant. I'm getting fish and chips. Madeline's getting sizzling prawns. Those are prawns that will be sauteed in a sweet chili sauce. We're by the ocean. This will probably be our last seafood meal, but we think it's gonna be a good one. Well, my fish and chips has finally arrived right here by the ocean, and we're gonna go a little malt vinegar right on top of it. And we're just gonna pick up the whole piece, go right in. is just better by the water. They know how to do it because they've been doing it for years, and I'm glad I waited to get fish and chips until we were right here by the ocean.
These are my sizzling prawns. We've had prawns a couple of different ways since we've been over here, but this is the first time it's being served like this in a chili oil sauce. Oh, that's good. That's good. A little bit spicy, fresh fish.
So good.
I think this would be really, really good on top of pasta.
Okay,
This sauce here would be like the perfect
Just ignore them.
pasta sauce. I wish I had some noodles. I do have some carbs.
Yeah.
Got some bread.
So good.
Oh man.
Well, a fun stop in to Skellig restaurant here in Port McGee. That'll probably be our last seafood meal here in Ireland as we're moving away from the coast. But we've had really tremendous seafood here, and if you're coming to Ireland, you gotta get some seafood because it's very, very good.
Today we are heading to Killarney National Park. We're driving over from Waterville, which was where we stayed last night. It's a very cute, small seaside town on the Ring of Kerry. And this morning we've been winding through some mountain roads with beautiful views. We were up overlooking the water at one point, and now we've kind of been driving through some farmland in a valley with beautiful mountains all around us on every side. So already a great start to the day, already a beautiful weather day, a beautiful morning, and we are heading out to explore some more of this beautiful area, heading to Killarney National Park.
Well, we were about to drive into Killarney National Park. The drive-in so far has been absolutely beautiful. We've explored a lot of national parks in the United States. This is the first one we're actually visiting in Ireland. We drove through another one, but we didn't really stop and do any of the sites. And so we're actually very, very excited for today because this is what we love to do back home. And we are excited to see what Ireland has to offer in terms of national parks. Behind me is Ladies View, and it is quite spectacular. On the drive-in, you're up much higher on this road over here, and it's a tight road, but the payoff is definitely worth it.
Well, here we are taking everything in down here by the water. Absolutely beautiful. There's people out here boating. It looks like the perfect day to be out on the water. They were all laughing, so they're having a great time. And I'm a little bit jealous because I think it'd be pretty awesome to be out here kayaking, or they were just in a speedboat. But looks like a ton of fun in such a beautiful place. I know Adam mentioned it earlier, but this is the kind of thing we love, and being able to get out here and explore has just been amazing. Right now we are hiking over to a waterfall. It says it's about 500 meters that way. So far the path has just been paved walkway. Very nice, very easy. Shouldn't be too much farther. Torque waterfall. This way. Ooh, that was cool. That was fun. You can hear the waterfall.
It's always a good sign.
We're getting close. This is the first time we've really gotten out in nature on this trip, aside from just popping out of the car or walking along the water. So it's been really nice to get out in the trees, and we love a good mountain stream. So let's go find this waterfall. So we have made it over here to the Torque waterfall. It's a beautiful little waterfall cascading down here right behind us, and really nice little trail. Very easy hike to get over here and take it in. Popular spot, and there's a good reason for that. But we love a good waterfall, and like I said, very nice to get outside, be out in nature, and see some beautiful things up close. Now we are heading up some stairs. I'm surprised Adam is willing to climb upstairs after Skellig yesterday, but we're doing it. I don't think it's quite so bad as that. The sheep in Ireland don't have any predators, so they're able to roam free.
No mountain lions, no bears, no foxes, no coyotes.
So we're out here roaming free, not having to worry about bears or coyotes or mountain lions, which is kind of nice. Well, we climbed up a bunch of stairs, kicked our butt a little bit. We still going though. Beautiful. We can hear, actually I think we hear the waterfall below us now. So we have gone up that high. But as I keep saying, it feels good to get out, stretch your legs. We have been in the car a lot on this trip. We have not done much hiking, so I, for one, am very, very glad to be out here. Well, our hike is starting to wind down. We are heading back to our car, but it was a lovely little hike. A little strenuous at times. Like I said, I'm surprised we climbed up all those stairs after Adam went to Skellig yesterday, but it really wasn't that bad. But always fun to get out and explore really up close and personal with the area and not just look at it from our car. So we're heading back, and we're gonna keep rolling here in Killarney National Park and see what we see next.
We're grabbing lunch here at the Muck Ross House Garden Restaurant. They actually had a hot buffet line, and then you had a grab and go, like little sandwiches and stuff. We went with the hot food. It kind of looked good. So I also found a dish I've been looking for all throughout Ireland. I think I may have seen it on the menu or two, but I didn't order it. And that's shepherd's pie. It's one of the last dishes that I haven't had while I'm over here in Ireland. So we're just gonna dig in. These are mashed potatoes on top. Just delicious ground meat, gravy. Maybe a little hot in Ireland today to eat this dish, but looks good. In terms of eating in national parks, this is high level. In the United States, we would not get food this good in a national park, although there are some good spots. I don't want to be too mean, but this is very good shepherd's pie. And it's not just you get shepherd's pie here. You get a scoop of mashed potatoes, you get a potato, peas, carrots. This is a full meal.
Here's some chicken tikka over some rice. We worked up a hunger out on the trail. So I'm just gonna take a big bite. Oh. All right. That's pretty tasty. It's busy. There's a pretty long line there, but smooth operation because people are filing in and out. This is a huge plate of food, but like I said, we worked up a hunger. I got mashed potatoes, I got roasted potatoes, I got all kinds of veggies, rice and chicken. This is the tasty fuel we need to get back out there and explore some more.
Well, a nice stop here for lunch at the Muck Ross House Garden Center restaurant. Beautiful garden out back. Madeline has informed me she wants an English garden. It's not what that is, but it's similar. And I have to say, if I could have afternoon tea in it every day, I think I'll figure out a way to make that happen. Well, I'm currently standing in front of the Muck Ross House, and I've been to a lot of manors, castles, big houses. I think that they have the most impressive view that I can think of out into Killarney National Park in this lake. It's quite the impressive setting here in Killarney National Park.
Well, we finished up at Killarney National Park. We had a great time getting out and exploring. And now we're going to head over to our hotel, which isn't very far. It is the Killarney Park Hotel. We're staying at the Killarney Park Hotel just outside of Killarney National Park. Let's go check it out.
Well, this evening, Madeline and I are going to explore Killarney, the town, a little bit. We're gonna grab a quick dinner. We've been eating a lot of pub food, as you can tell. We'll have a whole video on all the great pub food and Irish food we've eaten across this country. Tonight, we're just gonna grab a quick bite to eat, and then we're gonna go to a local brewery that, sometimes the breweries over here we found. You can go in, you can buy the beer, but they don't necessarily are not brew pubs like a lot that we see in the United States. This place seems to have a very familiar setup, and we're gonna go over there and try some of the local beers, and that'll probably be the end of our night here in Killarney.
We're here at Killarney Brewing Company. We got a couple beers. Love the atmosphere here. People are getting flatbreads. We already ate dinner, so we're not going to do that. but they've got all the brewery stuff set up back here. Got a little bar looking at it, and we're getting some local craft Irish beers, and it's a good time.
I have a German lager. Yes, I am in Ireland drinking a freshly brewed German lager. But it's very delicious, great setting. It's really fun to be able to come and sit in a brewery here because we popped into some, we've had local beers everywhere, but it's fun to come and experience it in the brewery. It is very fun to be here, having local beers where the locals do. Breakfast is included here at the Killarney Park, and they brought out a spread already of pastries. We have orange juice, coffee. I just got French toast. I keep saying I'm not gonna eat bread today, and then I just can't help myself. So I got French toast, cinnamon sugar, mascarpone, and Adam got eggs Benedict with gammon. Put a little of this here. Put a little more on there. Just do it all up. Ooh, that's very good. We had a great stay at the Killarney Park Hotel. We loved exploring Killarney. And now we feel energized and ready to go to keep exploring Ireland. We're heading back to Dublin, hitting up some great sites on the way. We have one last stop here in Killarney National Park, and that is the Ross Castle. You'd think we'd be getting sick of castles. Never. I think something I've learned on this trip is actually how simple a lot of castles are. It sounds really silly to say, but you watch movies or you watch like shows like Game of Thrones, and there's these big giant castles with all these rooms and all these chambers. And yes, I'm sure those exist, but you come to a lot of these and they're really just simple structures, simple towers with only a few rooms and like one area for sleeping. It even said like there wasn't a lot of privacy in there. Like the Lord and the servants all slept on the same floor. He just might have had his own room, but they all are in this tower here together. Everything happens right in there. So just something interesting to think about.
Great visit here to Ross Castle. This castle was actually in ruins, and it was part of a restoration process. In 1993, they had it fully restored. They use all the ancient techniques, and part of what holds the building together is cow hair. So that was pretty cool. As you can see behind me, Ross Castle sits on an absolutely beautiful lake, and there's kayaks and a lot of activity going on around here. Really just a beautiful setting. We've been really impressed with the castles here in Ireland. They're very approachable. It's fun. You can get up close and personal with them. Some of them aren't too big. And just popping in and seeing them. This one was free, and free to go in and take a look in the first floor. And of course, I think what's great about a lot of the castles is the outside and the settings. And they certainly don't lack for great settings here in Ireland. Well, we've hit a bit of a snag here. That is a flat tire. That's a tire, so hopefully get it changed. Well, we got the spare on, the help of a local farmer, also known as our hero. So, the day continues.
Well, we had a minor detour this afternoon with a flat tire, but thanks to the kindness of strangers, we are back on course and we are here at the Blarney Castle, and we're very glad that we made it here. Let's go check it out. Let's go kiss that stone. Inside, heading to the Blarney Castle. How much was it to get in?
€18.
18 euro for the two of us. Baby's free. But we're catching our first glimpses as we're walking up. Beautiful grounds all around. They have a coffee shop. They have bathrooms, which is always important to know when you're traveling.
It's a very impressive castle. It's very tall.
Very impressive, very tall.
Grounds are beautiful as well.
The sign said it is an arduous climb to the top of the Blarney Castle. We are prepared. We are ready.
To get the gift of eloquence.
The gift of eloquence will be bestowed upon us shortly. Maybe the most Irish thing we've done.
As we approach the castle, bagpipes are playing. They're also playing Danny Boy, so I feel like we should give a shout out to Moira Rose of Schitt's Creek. She can always belt out Danny's Boy. Move a room. But the castle is quite magnificent, actually.
Oh, yeah.
That seems ominous. What's in the poison garden? I think it's a bunch of poison ivy. So we're gonna avoid the poison garden. Also on property is the Blarney House. You can do a tour of it. We're not going to because children under 8 are not allowed, including babies. So we're gonna walk over and take a look at it. It's quite the impressive structure. Both the castle and the house on these grounds are very impressive structures. They have some gardens behind the castle as well. They're nice to stroll through, especially when you've got the bagpipe music playing. Looking at a castle, strolling through a garden, listening to bagpipes. It's not a bad way to spend a day. Climbing up the stairs here in Blarney Castle, and it is a tight circular staircase.
A little bit claustrophobic in here, not gonna lie. Here we go. I don't know if this is coming across how tight these stairs are. Oh, there's a rope. You can hold this rope as you climb up the stairs. Woo!
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my God. Ahead of me. I'm gonna transfer.
Somehow I did it.
We kissed the Blarney Stone, or some stone near the Blarney Stone. It's really quite a stretch to get there, but we're gonna check out the pictures and see if they turned out any good.
Well, I successfully kissed the Blarney Stone, just the top of it. Adam didn't quite make it all the way down, but I still think there's some luck in it. I'm still hoping it gives us a little more eloquence. But it was kind of a scary experience. You hold on to bars and hope you don't fall, but very fun. Very, very unique experience. Now we're going to finish up here and keep rolling on to our next destination. There are more gardens and grounds to explore here at the Blarney Castle. We're on a mission to get to the Blarney Stone, and our flat tire earlier had slowed us down just a little bit, so we have to keep on moving. But very, very fun stop. I'm like re-energized for the rest of our trip here in Ireland. Our next stop today is the Rock of Cashel. Right now we are walking over to the Rock of Cashel. We're here a little later in the day, so I believe it is closed, but we're walking up to get on the grounds, see how close up we can get. But first glimpses, pretty impressive.
Well, to me, one of the best parts about the Rock of Cashel is that when you drive into Cashel and see the tower, it is absolutely incredible in terms of its presence on the hill. It's a formidable structure, and when you get up close to it, you can really see kind of like where the roofs used to be, and you know, how it is kind of aged over time. But in terms of like castles that dominate like an area, it's probably one of the most impressive ones we've seen. All right, we're heading back to Dublin. We got one more fun day planned in Ireland. Sans car. We are in Dublin. Thanks for coming along with us as we decided today we're going to eat our way through Ireland's capital city. We're going to be trying to find some of the classic Irish dishes here, but we're also trying to explore a couple of different neighborhoods. And so we're excited about the spots we have picked out, and we're ready to eat because we are very hungry. First things first today, we're going to be starting off with breakfast at a little neighborhood cafe. They had some menu items that I saw that looked very unique, and I wanted to go try them. We just put in our order at Two Pubs Cafe. I'm getting a breakfast bop. Now, a bop has its origins in Scottish. It's basically a very pillowy soft roll, and you put a bunch of delicious breakfast ingredients in there, and you've got a great sandwich. Madeline is getting Turkish beetroot eggs. I have no idea what that dish is. Well, here's the aforementioned breakfast bop sandwich, and honestly, one of the most beautiful breakfast sandwiches I've ever seen. We got the egg on there. We got red peppers, onions. There's a piece of sausage and chipotle mayo down there. All right, here we go. Look at that. I haven't even tasted it yet, and it already tastes good. Wow. Well, I'm gonna be trying to make this sandwich at home. I don't really know what else to say other than it's an absolute flavor bomb and a great way to start my day here in Dublin.
Here is my Turkish egg breakfast. Absolutely beautiful presentation. We have pickled beetroot, we have beets, we have feta cheese, eggs, and pita. Oh, there is also like a beetroot yogurt on the bottom too. Oh, that's good. It's very good. There's a little bit of heat. There's creaminess from the yogurt on the bottom. Pickled beets. I don't really eat a lot of beets, but these are candied and they're sweet. They're pretty good.
We're gonna pop into St. Patrick's Cathedral. We're gonna check out one of Ireland's most famous churches right here in the heart of Dublin. Well, we're here in St. Patrick's Cathedral, and it's quite the beautiful building, and there's also a lot going on.
Very busy. Very busy in here. Lots to see. They were very skinny people when they made stairs like this. Or maybe we're just Americans.
I think it looks like Dumbledore's staircase.
A little claustrophobic after Blarney Castle yesterday.
By far and away, my favorite part of visiting old churches is the stained glass. I don't even think I could place one piece of stained glass. And it's always amazing how those came together. There's also a really nice park next to St. Patrick's Church. And in the park you get a really good view of the church. I love old architecture and the buttresses and all that on the church. That's what makes it worth coming to for me. I think the best view of the church is from the park.
The park behind St. Patrick's Cathedral is buzzing today, and there are 4 pugs running around and I think they're hilarious. That was our quick pop in to St. Patrick's Cathedral. We love visiting old churches like that. It just take a minute, take it all in. Absolutely beautiful. Now we're gonna keep rolling here in Dublin. I think some lunch is in order. For lunch today, we are in the Temple Bar neighborhood and we're heading to Gallagher's Boxty. They have some great traditional Irish dishes on the menu, and that is exactly what we're here for. We also have not had a Boxty yet. I'm excited to try a new way to eat potatoes.
Well, we just put in our order here at Boxty.
One is getting the Gaelic Boxty. That Boxty is topped with medallions of Irish filet beef, and it's covered in a sauce that's mushroom, peppercorn, and cream sauce. I'm getting the stew sampler. Now, lamb stew, beef stew with Guinness, and a dish called coddle. Coddle's a dish that's kind of like really comforting on a cold day. Of course, we're here in Dublin, pretty much at the hottest time of year. It's absolutely beautiful outside, but I really wanted to try coddle when I was here because it's a dish I've never seen before. It actually has black pudding sausage in it. Black pudding, of course, is the sausage that's made with blood in it. So I'm looking forward to trying all those stews, and we wanted to come to this spot because we're getting great examples of traditional Irish dishes.
All right, here is the Gaelic Boxty. We have beef fillets, we have the beautiful potato pancake beneath it, covered in this mushroom cream sauce. I really haven't eaten a lot of beef on this trip, so I'm pretty excited for that because Irish beef is such a big deal. Beef is cooked perfectly. I'm loving this sauce. I think the Boxty is one of my new favorite things. It's just soaking up all this sauce. And it's a whole nother way to eat potatoes.
Well, I have my 3 stews here. I also have 3 pieces of bread. I have beer bread, stout bread, and of course, soda bread, which you've gotten everywhere here in Ireland. I also have my 3 stews. This is lamb stew, this is the coddle, and this is the beef stew. We're gonna go coddle first because I've never had it before. It has ham in there, and then some black sausage pudding, and I think there are leeks. Kind of looks like a potato soup, maybe a chicken noodle soup. Ooh, the black pudding is definitely a unique flavor. It's not something I'm very familiar with. Next, I'm gonna go with the lamb stew. You can see the slow roasted lamb. You got carrots in there, you got barley. It smells amazing. They have sheep all over this country, and lamb's a very big dish here. That's so savory, and slow roasted lamb. Really, really becoming a dish that I'm enjoying, especially when I'm over here in Ireland. Fresh carrots, barley. Again, talking about hearty right here. It's delivering on that. Final one we got here is the beef stew. It looks a lot like the lamb one. Looks like we got some celery in there, and no barley. It's just a classic flavor. It's just, all 3 of these are just hearty. You can tell there's just a ton of flavor put into these. And I think we're gonna maybe go a little soda bread. Almost like a crouton right there. This feels like Dublin. This feels like Ireland.
A great lunch stop over there at Boxty's. To have a Boxty like that, absolute perfection, exactly what we're looking for. And then to try all those different stews. I mean, as you can tell, it's quite sunny behind me right now. It's kind of a hot day to have a warm soup belly. But that said, they were very good. I will say, if you're adventurous, you've never had codle before, try the codle. I don't know if it's something I'll be making at home. I haven't fallen in love with the black puddings, the white pudding. I just don't think it's my cup of tea. But part of traveling and exploring new places is trying different foods, and I'm always happy to do so.
We thoroughly enjoyed our lunch, and now we're in the mood for a sweet treat. So we're heading over to the Queen of Tarts for some delicious tea and desserts. Our food tours are never complete unless we have a little dessert.
We've sat down at the Queen of Tarts, and if your television was 40 and you could smell the baked goods in this place, you would be a very happy person right now because it smells absolutely wonderful. It smells like the British baking show is going on in here, I guess, but we're in Ireland, so I guess it'd be the Irish baking show is going on in here. Madeline got a Bailey's chocolate chip cheesecake. If there was ever a dessert invented for Madeline, it was the Bailey chocolate chip cheesecake. And I think they're well known for it. It looks absolutely beautiful. I got the Queen Victoria sponge cake. It's got raspberries, strawberries, whipped cream, and it's a light sponge. Again, between the smell of the tea, the smell of these cakes, and the smell of the bakery in here, we're having like a perfect moment here in Dublin. Well, here I go, digging into this Queen Victoria cake. I mean, it's a huge piece of cake. I don't even know where to start, but that looks absolutely delectable. Oh, the whipped cream is so good.
You're hearing bells.
It's the bells of heaven ringing out with love. Just the cake is so fluffy. I love the sauce on there. The sauce? I don't even know what.
Fruit.
I love this. I love the fruit on there, and this is just the absolute perfect afternoon treat. Pairs perfectly with this tea as well.
Here is my Bailey's chocolate chip cheesecake. Absolutely beautiful. This kind of looks like a golden snitch on top. I know it's not. I think it's like a persimmon or something. I don't know why. That's what I think it is. Let's go in. A little whipped cream. Because it has like a bit of a candy coating on top. Oh my gosh. The cheesecake is so creamy and delicious. And then there's chocolate chips and a graham cracker crust. I think that's like the traditional crust, biscuit crust. I love cheesecake. This one's absolutely delicious. It's a perfect setting, perfect little afternoon treat. I don't think I'm gonna share this, although I do want some of this cake. I'm gonna try it. It's a huge piece of cake. On the British baking show, they're always talking about Victoria sponge. Here we are. It's kind of a denser cake, which I like. It holds up really well with the fruit in there. I love it.
Madeline stole some of my cake, so I'm going to steal some of her golden snitch cheesecake.
I think the Bailey's is what's on top of it, right?
Maybe.
Yeah. That is a treat right there. Dublin, you're delivering on the flavors big time. Well, a tremendous stop into the Queen of Tarts. Excellent sweet treats, good cup of tea. The next spot we're going to, I think, is actually going to be a whiskey distillery. Follow up some cake with some whiskey. Well, that was the old library, Book of Kells, the long room at the old library. Definitely worth a visit. A beautiful room, and seeing the Book of Kells, like a piece of art, and that's pretty cool. I really enjoyed the harp. I like the old harp. It's thousands, maybe just 1,000 years old. But that'll do it for us here at Trinity College. We're gonna keep exploring. We're gonna go to the distillery now. It was a little steep. It's like 17 or 18 euros to get into there. I don't know if it was quite worth that, but you're here, so it's hard to pass up.
This afternoon, we are heading over to Teeling Whiskey Distillery. It's right around the corner from our hotel. We're gonna pop in, check out their bar for some whiskey cocktails.
Teeling actually opened in 2015, so for a distillery it's pretty young, and I believe it was the first distillery to be opened in Dublin in 125 years. And of course, a lot of times with whiskey, you get kind of the aged whiskey. If you do the math there, they don't have an 8-year whiskey, they don't have a 16-year whiskey, they certainly don't have a 25-year whiskey. So a lot of their whiskeys now are young, but they're also starting to get old enough to where they actually have those older whiskeys, so that'll be interesting to see. Well, we've gotten our drinks here at Teeling Distillery, the Bang Bang Bar, and I just love that this is a new distillery. Really funky, cool decor in here. They've got some cool sitting areas, and I've got what they call the new fashion. They're definitely leaning into the fact that there's a new kid on the block. By the way, the block is totally under development. It's like all new apartments and condos. It's very cool to see. If you come here in 5 years, it'll be a totally different neighborhood. And I've seen this happen a lot, where a cool distillery or craft brewery goes into a part of town and the whole part of town gets redeveloped. And I think that's awesome. That's a good drink too.
We have enjoyed our fair share of distilleries, both in Scotland and here in Ireland. And this is my actual first whiskey cocktail. Everywhere else we've gone, I've just drank it straight. But this here is a blood orange smash. Very refreshing because it has been a very hot day here in Dublin. We've enjoyed it thoroughly, and it was kind of cold at the start of our Ireland trip, and these last few days it has been like 80 degrees and sunny and beautiful. It's kind of hard to leave that nice weather.
Fun stop in this Healings Distillery. Definitely a place to check out if you're here in Dublin. It's very walkable from a lot of these city center attractions, which was also nice. Now we're gonna head over to dinner. I'm excited about the spot we have picked out. It's got kind of an interesting story behind it, and I think that always adds to dinner. Tonight we're going to dinner at a pub called Darky Kelly's. The interesting story behind it is that Darky Kelly was basically killed for practicing witchcraft. But then it was found out that she didn't actually practice witchcraft. But she also ran a brothel, and they found dead bodies underneath the brothel. And so she might have been Ireland's first serial killer, or Dublin's first serial killer. So, interesting story to name a bar after someone like that. But it's a local pub. We're looking forward to going. They should have live music. And we, believe it or not, are hungry.
We've sat down at Darky Kelly's. I absolutely love this place. The aesthetic, it seems local, which is what we've been looking for, and this pub, already off to a great start. We got our beers. I got a local red ale, Madeline. Guinness. I guess I thought there'd be a logo on there, but it's not. I'm getting a pub favorite over here in the Ireland and British Isles, which is chicken curry. This is a green chicken curry. I haven't seen that, although I'm sure it's more common than I'm guessing, but I absolutely love chicken curry, and I couldn't leave without getting it one last time. Madeline is getting fish and chips because she absolutely loves fish and chips, so we're getting our favorite meals that we've had over here for our last meal. Also, Darky Kelly's has live music, I think, most nights of the week, and they've got some bands starting later this evening. So we're looking forward to taking in the live music. I think it's one of those where everyone brings their instrument and they just play songs they know, which that's really what we've been looking forward to seeing. So hopefully that's what it is.
How to begin here? This may be the biggest piece of fish I've ever seen in my life. Wow, they're not skimping on the portions tonight. Part of me wants to pick this up and eat it in one piece, but I'm not gonna do that.
I think you should.
All right, challenge accepted. All right. We'll go from this end here.
Because her friends are still renting.
This is silly. This is so silly.
She was renting. See, she didn't bother. She was renting all along. The last thing she was paying $1,200.
Fresh fish, deliciously crispy.
Tomorrow just cheap. And tomorrow just cheap. And you know what I think? I think that
I think I'm gonna need some help to finish this, but absolutely delicious. I cannot think of a better last meal here tonight in Dublin. A giant piece of fish, a bunch of chips here. We got mushy peas. We got house-made tartar sauce.
Well, this is my dish. It's the green chicken curry. It's absolutely beautiful, and it smells amazing as well. And a lot of times the pub curries that you see over here have like a yellow, orange, brownish sauce on top. This is the first time I've seen green chicken curry. And I'm just gonna go right in. We've got bell peppers, chicken, looks like zucchini, onions.
A lot of veggies.
Yeah, a lot of veggies. We're just sitting here in this sauce. We'll just get that fully loaded bite. that is temperature hot, but it's also got some nice heat from the curry as well. I enjoy this dish, and honestly, it's a lot of comfort food, and that's what we've had a lot over here in Ireland, is a lot of comfort food. The food here in Ireland just kind of wraps you up in a big old hug, and it makes you love this country, and that's what we've enjoyed about every meal that we've had here. Well, our food has been cleared, and the band is about to start. We're going to stick around and listen to a little bit of music, and as far as pub atmospheres go, it's one of the best ones we've found in Dublin.
Hollywood 17 that he could over with nothing.
Tremendous dinner at Darky Kelly's. Matt and I are having too much fun here in Dublin to shut it down early, so we are actually going to stop at a smaller local pub that we find on the way back to our hotel and have one last Guinness here in Ireland. To finish here in Dublin, Madeline and I stopped at John Fallon, local corner pub, had a snug, not very loud music playing. The focus is beer, particularly one beer, a Guinness. Look at this, beautifully sitting above the rim. And I can't think of a better way to kind of end this beautiful week we've had in Ireland. I mean, we sound like weathermen, but it was sunny and 70 the entire time we're here. You can't pull that off with a little luck, right? So, Ireland, thank you for hosting us. You're a wonderful country. Wonderful beer. Sláinte.
We have arrived in Northern Ireland, and today we're going to explore up along the coast. We're heading to the Dark Hedges, then we're going to head to Giants Causeway, and we're going to end our day in Bushmill. We're looking forward to exploring this area. We're going to eat some great food, we're going to see some beautiful things, and we're going to kick off our first day here in Northern Ireland.
We're walking up to the Dark Hedges, and we're actually going to grab lunch at this little spot right near there called the Pantry. There's a golf course here. There's a hotel here called the Hedges Hotel. It doesn't seem to be active. I don't know if that's a COVID casualty or what, but it's a very cool area. We're not even in the hedges, but they have a row of trees here that's very, very cool. Well, we're going to walk over to the Dark Hedges now. You can see behind me there's a row of trees along a road, and that is where the Dark Hedges are located. Just right here, there's a free parking lot you can pull off into. You don't actually have to go over to the golf course or to the Pantry, the little place where we had lunch. Nice little lunch spot though, and of course, being from America, we're kind of used to having fast casual and being able to access meals on demand like 24 hours a day. In Europe, it doesn't actually work that way, and so whenever you can kind of grab a little bite to eat for lunch at the place you're visiting, it actually works out pretty well for you. If you walk all the way to the end of the Dark Hedges, they have a little plaque commemorating Game of Thrones and the episode that it was used here for. It's a nice walk, especially on a nice day. They obviously CGI'd it during the show, but Madeline knows more about Game of Thrones, so she's gonna have to talk about all the different Game of Thrones filming locations, because I only watched one season, sorry.
So we're here in the Giants Causeway Visitor Center. We're getting ready to go on a guided tour. This is quite the building they have here. And we're getting ready to go on a tour. We're heading out on the tour. We have these audio sets. Said it's gonna take about 40 minutes to head down. So he brings us down on the trail, we explore ourselves, and then we come back up. We've been really looking forward to today. Down there. Cows. It's starting to rain. We are heading down the path here. We're sort of in and out of the rain today. Packed the umbrella, but decided to leave it in the car because we're smart. But other than that, it's pretty comfortable. It's like in the 60s and it is absolutely gorgeous here. Finn McCool is the name of the giant that lived here in Giants Causeway, and I think that's probably the greatest name of all time. And he has a camel. Camel Rock over here. You can see it. It's over there. But yeah, that's his camel Humphrey. Well, we're now entering the windiest part of the coast, called the Windy Gap. Let's see if you can hear anything I'm saying right now. I'm curious to find out.
Well, it's a good spot to test out the new microphone and see what it can actually handle in terms of getting out wind, because this is the windiest spot in Ireland. Well, we just learned the tale of how the Giants Causeway was formed. Of course, not the actual geographical version, but the mythical version. You can choose to believe whichever one you want, but Finn McCool, the Irish giant, he lived up over in that tower, and he was fighting the Scottish giant, and he picked up a Isle of Dirt, threw it, and he missed, and that became the Isle of Man. They decided to fight. So he built a causeway, and he went across the ocean to Scotland and woke up the Scottish giant, and then found out how big he was. So he ran back over here to Northern Ireland, and he hid in his house in a baby's crib. His wife covered him up. And the Scottish giant saw the baby and said, well, if that baby's that big, how big is the father? So he ran back, destroying the bridge on the way back over to Scotland. And that is the rumor, the mythical story of how this was formed. But the fun part is the isle over there in Scotland actually has the same rock formations as the one here. Right there, that's where Finn McCool lived with his wife. They had a crib for some reason. They were having a baby. Then he pretended to be a baby. The geographical explanation is that this is a lava lake, and this is how the lava formed, and then it was washed away and exposed by glaciers, and now we're left with this very unique rock formation.
The spot I'm walking over to is called the Honeycomb. It kind of juts out into the ocean, and it's a very impressive feature. Some of these rocks have obviously been pretty well weathered, so walking around here is not too bad, but you do have to be careful once you get over by the water, because it can definitely be a lot slicker. And amazingly, it was raining on us earlier, and now the sun is coming out and it's quite beautiful. Well, right here you kind of feel like you're standing on the edge of the world. In some ways you are. But of course you can see Scotland over there on a clear day. Just a very, very unique formation. And again, the weather we've had over here has been absolutely beautiful. And even though it was raining a half hour ago, now the sun's peeking out and just kind of shining a light on this in a different way. That's why I love doing this.
Here in the visitor center, they have a museum, they have a shop where you can get something to eat, and then they have a gift shop full of local souvenirs. So you can pick up something unique to the area right here in their gift shop. Now we are driving over to the Carrick-a-Reid Bridge, the rope bridge over the water. I don't think we're gonna be brave enough to head out onto the bridge. Both of us are not so great when it comes to heights, but we do wanna go over and take a look at this popular spot.
Well, right now we're walking along the coastal path here. There are beautiful fields of sheep and cattle to my right and the ocean to my left. And it's an absolutely gorgeous day here on the Northern Ireland coast. And one of the more stunning scenic settings I've ever been to. Well, I am starting a 20-minute walk over to the bridge. We'll see if it actually takes 20 minutes. The setting here, as I've said many times here on the coast of Northern Ireland, is absolutely beautiful. I believe those are called the Sheep Islands, but I didn't look at a map. That's just based on the name of a hotel we drove by. But you can see Scotland off in the distance, and I just love this area. It's been a good hike so far, very well paved path. Walking by these sheep and some cattle. I'm one of the last entries for today, so if there's less people, I may actually step foot on the bridge. From up here, it doesn't look as intimidating, but I know when I get down there, my fear of heights will kick in and probably gonna chicken out. I'm going to put a foot on it and I'm not going across it. This is pretty much my worst fear right here. No way. And that's good enough. Well, I just walked up the stairs. I'm gonna talk later. Well, once again, my fear of open air heights, which I believe is a reasonable fear, got the best of me, and I could not make it across the bridge. Despite the fact that little kids were doing it, they don't know better. Now, no one's ever fallen off the bridge, and I did have a big wired cable running on both sides, so it looks secure, but it wiggles. I don't know what the height is, but I have a 3-month-old daughter, and I'd like to continue to be around to raise her. So I put a foot on it, which I was quite nervous doing that, and I consider that to be an absolute win. But we're gonna keep rolling here in Northern Ireland, having a great time so far. This coast up here is just one of those beautiful places I've ever been in my entire life, and I've been to some beautiful places. This one is as good as that sheep right there agrees with me. He likes living here.
We are popping into the Fullerton Arms restaurant and guest house, still pub, and just checking it out after leaving the bridge.
For dinner, I have a beef and ale pie. This is a giant flaky pastry on top of seasoned beef, and it smells great, looks great. This is the Irish dish right here. There's beef in there, carrots, turnips, all well seasoned. That's kind of the dish you're dreaming of when you come over here right here.
Especially after a day outside.
After a day outside in the rain, hiking on the Giants Causeway, it's a very good stop.
So this bar actually has some ties to Game of Thrones, and the door here was made from trees. I think they may have been from the Dark Hedges, or at least somewhere on set that there was a storm and trees fell. So then they made 6 doors from the fallen trees, and they've spread them out over Ireland. And here's one of them right here. I guess it's based on an episode from season 6. Not positive which, but there is a dragon and some horses, and it's very, very cool. In the Game of Thrones, you either win or you die.
Well, after a quick lunch, we have headed over to the Bushmills distillery to do a tour of the oldest whiskey distillery here in Ireland. We did some whiskey distillery tours over in, well, Scotch distillery tours over in Scotland. And this is our first one that we're doing here in Ireland. Of course, we're in Northern Ireland right now, which is where Bushmills is located. So it's a beautiful property, and we're looking forward to exploring it.
We're heading out on the Bushmills tour. No photographs allowed inside, so we will see you when we're done. Sometimes the best part of the tour is sitting in the bar afterwards.
This is
the 21-year-old whiskey here at Bushmills. I like a whiskey old enough to drink itself. That's some depth of flavor right there. Very smooth. This is unreal. This is an incredible whiskey. Well, we had a fun tour here at Bushmills. You can't take any video inside the distillery. They tell you there's a lot of alcohol in the air and a spark could set the whole place on fire.
I don't think my phone would give off a spark, but
We
reasons.
respect the rules.
They have strict insurance rules over
so I guess that's a good enough excuse. No one fights with them. But really a fantastic tour. You get to see the whole process.
Huge operation
And
here. I think my favorite part, they take you into the bottling room and you can see how all the bottles get filled and checked and packed up to go. It's really impressive.
But at the end, you get to try some of the different bottles that they make here. And really fantastic whiskey too. So everyone enjoyed it. And this was a very, very good stop here in Northern Ireland.
We're here at Dunluce Castle. It is right on the water here, and one amazing thing about these old castles is the views are always incredible because they build them right on the water. Makes a lot of sense because you can see who's coming for you. But the views from here are absolutely stunning. It was £6 to get in, and parking was pretty easy. One thing that's really cool about this castle in particular is, yes, so much of it has fallen apart over the years. There are sections that date all the way back to the 1500s, but there's still so much of it that's intact, and you can make out the rooms that were once here. And I just think that's just so cool. Still here after all this time.
Wish you could reconstruct it.
I know. So that is where we are standing. So the story is that the kitchen fell off into the sea, and that was when the owner said, no more, I'm not doing it anymore. We'll just let it all go. I don't want to rebuild because my house keeps falling into the sea. So that was probably a smart decision. But this is a very, very cool stop. We're standing inside the manor house right now, and you can see windows and fireplace, lots of fireplaces. Those are pretty much the easiest thing to make out. Really very, very cool stop. I believe this was also a Game of Thrones filming location. I believe it's where the Greyjoys lived. I can't remember it from the show. I'm really trying to remember it. But I did read that they used this spot for that, which is pretty cool. Well, that was Dunluce Castle. I swear, the sheep have the best views. Look at that. That is pretty cool.
Tonight we're going to be having dinner at the Bushmills Inn. This will really be our first big meal here in Northern Ireland. I think we picked a good spot, so we've looked at the menu. I think we know what we're going to order, and we're looking forward to going in and eating some tasty food. We wanted to give you a little bit of a tour of the property. It's a very cool hotel. It's historic, has a lot of history behind it, and even just being in the building, I mean, you can tell it's an older building, but they've kept it up very well. So you do have a high-end stay while you're here. Well, we put in our order here at the Bushmills restaurant, and we always like to get food that's representative of the area we're at. And we saw a lot of sheep walking around today, so I'm gonna eat one. I'm getting lamb. It's a rump of lamb with bonbons, which should be like little fried croquettes. And Madeline is getting the chicken dish. And you know, chicken's not always the most exciting thing on the menu, but we both wanted that dish, so I think it's gonna be pretty good. It's got a white balsamic on there, some tomatoes, and goat cheese. It's a cheesy dish as well. So this is going to be a good representation of the area. Well, I'm about to dig into my lamb here. It looks amazing. In fact, I'm gonna go with this bonbon first. It's like a croquette, stuffed with lamb. Very good. So here's the lamb roast. 2 garlic potatoes. That's very fresh and really sticks to your bone. Goodness right there.
All right, here is my chicken. It is plated beautifully. Everything here looks so good. All right, we have some, I think this is, I think that's a goat cheese here. And then we have olives, tomato, chicken. We're just gonna get a little bit. This is the white wine sauce. The chicken is cooked perfectly. The skin is nice and crispy. There's goat cheese. Everything on this plate, absolutely delicious.
Well, we had to get our sweet treat for the day, and we got the classic dish, sticky toffee pudding, and it looks delicious. It tastes like a very, very moist cake covered in caramely toffee and lots and lots of goodness. It's also hot. Well, we were departing Ireland, and we were sad because we had an amazing time. We drove to the north, we drove to the south, we saw beautiful things and castles all the way through, and we ate our way across this entire country. So the Emerald was beautiful. If you got this far, you must like us a little bit, so hit subscribe. That helps us go on future adventures. And Ireland, thank you.